Hello everyone. I hope you enjoyed doing your cold task yesterday. It's going to be great to look back at our writing next week and see how many new skills we've learned and mastered. Don't forget to get your login for Spelling Frame. It's really easy. You just need to email english@grange.harrow.sch.uk with your name and class, and we'll send you your login. There is a reminder of that email address on the next page. Today we are learning something new and challenging. It's called adverbs of time. Now you will need the document Adverbs of Time to help you, so please make sure you have that document ready. You will also need a date and li. Today is Tuesday the 9th of June and the li is I can use adverbs of time. Pause now to write your date and li. Okay, let's look at our model text from yesterday and we're going to look at the adverbs of time because first we need to really work out what they are, don't we? So I've marked them in red for you. On the night before my birthday, I rushed quickly upstairs to bed tingling with excitement. I was incredibly excited because I had asked my busy father for a real-life gorilla for my birthday. For as long as I can remember, I have watched gorillas on television, read books about gorillas, and drawn pictures of gorillas. So, in that first paragraph, we have two adverbs of time. They're phrases. We have on the night before my birthday, and for as long as I can remember. So let's think what adverbs of time do. Well, this first one, on the night before my birthday. Well, when is Hannah rushing to bed? It's the night before her birthday. It tells us when that thing happens. If we change the adverb of time, let's change it. Last Tuesday. Last Tuesday, I rushed quickly upstairs to bed, tingling with excitement. It doesn't make any sense, does it? The reason we have that adverb of time is because it's important that it's the night before her birthday. So the adverbs of time not only tell us when the thing is happening, but they're important for us to understand what the text means and how the character is feeling. Let's change it back, shall we? For as long as I can remember, I have watched gorillas on television, read books about gorillas, and drawn pictures of gorillas. Okay, so for as long as she can remember, she's done that. So when has she drawn pictures of gorillas and watched gorillas on television and read books about gorillas? For as long as she can remember. Let's change it again, see if it changes the meaning. I'm going to change for as long as I can remember to since yesterday. Since yesterday, I have watched gorillas on television, read books about gorillas, and drawn pictures of gorillas. Completely different meaning, right? If she's only been doing this since yesterday, then I wouldn't really understand why she'd be so excited and interested in gorillas. She's only liked them for one day. But if it's for as long as she can remember, then, well, we understand why gorillas are so excited for her. So let's back out. Let's change that one back again, shall we? In the middle of the night, I suddenly woke up because I was too excited to sleep. Now, when did this thing happen? It happened in the middle of the night. What would have happened if it was in the morning? In the morning, I suddenly woke up. Well, that doesn't make sense, does it? I mean, why would she sleep all night and then suddenly wake up? Because we've put that it's in the middle of the night, it shows us how excited Hannah was. She woke up excited in the middle of the night, couldn't wait to open her present. So remember, our adverbs of time, they tell us, rule one, when something happened. And the second important thing about them is they help us to understand the feeling of our characters. Now, I have a little challenge for you. I have not coloured in the adverb of time from this paragraph. There's actually two. I want you to see if you can find them, and we'll talk about what they were in a minute. Did you find those adverbs of time? Let's check them together. A few hours later, I woke abruptly to the most amazing sight. So, adverbs of time tell us when something happened. When did she wake abruptly? A few hours later. At first I was terrified because I had never actually seen a gorilla. When was she terrified? At first. I was ready to scream, but the gorilla had the kindest smile, so I felt extremely safe. Does that sentence tell us when that happened? No, it doesn't. We just presume it happened after the thing before. What a kind gorilla he was. Well, that's an exclamation. It would be weird to have an adverb of time in there, wouldn't it? So, our adverbs of time in paragraph 3 were a few hours later and at first. Well done if you spotted them. So what are adverbs of time? Let's go back to that. That's our big question, isn't it? I'm going to write it on this document. What are adverbs of time? Well, they tell us when something happened. And what else do they do? They help us understand a character's feelings. They help us understand. And again, let's go back to that again, because that's really, really important. This one, for as long as I can remember. Remember, we need that adverb of time to say she's been thinking about gorillas and wanting to see a gorilla for a long, long time, or the story doesn't make sense. On the night before my birthday, we have to tell the reader that her birthday is coming up. If we don't, they will not understand. On Thursday, I rushed quickly upstairs to bed, tingling with excitement. Well, if I'm reading that, I think that Hannah just really likes Fridays. And Fridays are great, but they're not as good as birthdays. And that's just a fact. So, let's have a look at the paragraphs again. In fact, I'm going to stop for a moment and I want you to read through those paragraphs and we're going to see if we can find any more of the ingredients that make an adverb of time. Okay, so we've had a little look at the adverbs of time in this text and we've worked out that their job is to tell us when something happened and also to give us some idea about how the character is feeling, a little clue. Now, let's have a look at where they appear in the sentence, shall we? On the night before my birthday, adverb of time, I rushed quickly upstairs to bed tingling with excitement. For as long as I can remember, that's the adverb of time, I have watched gorillas on television, read books about gorillas, and drawn pictures of gorillas. In the middle of the night, I suddenly woke up because I was too excited to sleep. A few hours later, I woke abruptly to the most amazing sight. At first, I was terrified because I had never actually seen a gorilla before. So where are our adverbs of time appearing in sentences? They're appearing at the end, middle, or beginning. They appear at the beginning. And there is a reason for that, and it's a word called context. My turn, your turn. Context. Okay, so what is context? Context is all the facts that go together to create meaning. Okay? For example, if I told you someone was sliding across the grass, you might be worried about them and try and help them. What if I told you it was a footballer and they were tackling? That's context. So in the context of a footballer sliding across the grass, well, that's fine. And so let's go for football with another one, studs. Well, a football boot might have studs on the bottom, but they're not the same studs that you put in your ear. That would be weird, wouldn't it? So context is the clues that tell us the meaning, and adverbs of time are one of those context clues. If we think back to that first sentence, on the night before my birthday, that's a context clue. And it has to come first. If it comes afterwards, it's not a clue, is it? I rushed upstairs to bed, tingling with excitement, because it was the night before my birthday. Well, that's just telling you. But we want to give it as a clue, don't we? So where do adverbs of time appear? They appear at the beginning of a sentence. And if you look as well, we use them at the beginning of paragraphs as well. Okay, so what are adverbs of time? Let's have a look at what we've found out so far. They tell us when something happened. They help us to understand a character's feeling by giving clues. And they often appear at the beginning of a sentence or paragraph. Shall we have a look for another thing that we need to know about adverbs of time? There's a piece of punctuation, can you see it? On the night before my birthday, comma. For as long as I can remember, comma. In the middle of the night, comma. A few hours later, comma. At first, comma. So they're always followed with a comma. Now that's to keep them separate from the other part of the sentence because they're two pieces of information, and you know when you have two pieces of information you would normally put a conjunction in the middle. But you don't have to with an adverb of time. You can actually use a comma instead of a conjunction to separate the two parts of the sentence. So let's add that to our success criteria, shall we? They're always followed by a comma. So what are adverbs of time? They tell us when something happened. They help us understand a character's feelings by giving clues. They appear at the beginning of a sentence and or a paragraph, and they are always followed by a comma. Okay, let's pause for a second. When we're going to come back, we're going to think of some adverbs of time that we actually already know. Okay, so we actually know quite a lot of adverbs of time already. We just didn't know they were adverbs of time. Shall we review some together? Let's start with that one you might use at the beginning of a traditional tale. I bet you didn't know it was an adverb of time, did you? Once upon a time, comma. Or how about this one? One day, comma. Shall we think of some more? Well, let's think of ones from our day. When do you get out of bed? In the morning. At least I hope it's the morning. It might be in the afternoon. And I'm pretty sure it's not in the evening. And you could even change these, not just in the morning, that morning could be another adverb of time. That very morning, that sunny morning, that bright morning, one bright morning, one windy morning, one autumn morning. There are so many different adverbs of time you can make. In the afternoon, well, we could change that. It could be one afternoon, it could be one bright afternoon, it could be one rainy afternoon. There's lots of ways to modify and change adverbs of time to give them more feeling. So we've got in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, and we know how to change those. And let's add one morning, one afternoon, and one evening. And I'm going to leave some spaces here for you to add an adjective in the middle. Well, what kind of morning? What kind of afternoon? What kind of evening? So these tell us when things happened. We can also use adverbs of time to put things in order as well, like first, next, last, finally. We can even have things happening at the exact same time, simultaneously. And those are just short one-word ones, aren't they? We can talk about how much time has passed a few minutes later, a few hours later. We could say the next day. We could say later that evening. We could say, look at this one, when the clock struck 12. I've got another idea. At midnight. Wow, there's lots and lots, aren't there? Lots and lots. There's so many, in fact, that we've been using them all the time, and we've never really thought about what they were. So I've got a little challenge for you. I want you to see how many words you can add to this word list, because we're going to use our word list in a minute to do some sentences with adverbs of time. Okay, let's look at some sentences together. And we're going to choose some adverbs of time to start them off. Now, there's kind of two levels at which you can do this. On one level, you can literally say when the thing happens. And another level, which is more of a greater depth way of using adverb of time, is to give those context clues. Now, I don't mind which one you choose, but we want to aim towards the greater depth level. But if you're not feeling confident with that yet, don't worry. It's still a fantastic achievement that you're able to use adverbs of time. So, these are all sentences that could come from a recount of Hannah's night. And I want us to put some adverbs of time in. So the first one says, adverb of time, I was very excited. Well, when was Hannah very excited? Do you remember? It was when she went to bed. And why was she excited? Because it was going to be her birthday. So you could say, on the night before my birthday. And that gives a clue, doesn't it, as to why she was excited. You could say, when I went to bed, I was very excited. You could even say, that evening. Just keep it really simple. The choice is yours. The next one, I couldn't believe my eyes. Well, when could Hannah not believe her eyes? When she saw that the gorilla had grown and grown. So when did that happen? Well, it happened in the morning, didn't it? When she woke up. So a simple one would be, when I woke up. When I woke up, I couldn't believe my eyes. Simple, tells us when it happened. Can we add more detail though? When I woke up the next morning, I couldn't believe my eyes. When I woke up on my birthday, I couldn't believe my eyes. So we've got lots of different options. You might even say, when I saw the huge gorilla, I couldn't believe my eyes. You could say, when I saw a real gorilla, I couldn't believe my eyes. Those versions give more of a clue, don't they? They give some context, some reason why she couldn't believe her eyes. Let's look at some more together. Remember, you're going to get to write all of these yourself with whichever adverb of time you choose. Okay, adverb of time, comma, we watched an exciting film with a super gorilla. Well, when did that happen? Well, that happened when Hannah and the gorilla went to the cinema. So it would be when we went to the cinema. That's a nice simple one, isn't it? Because you have to say when it happened. And exciting already tells us she liked the film. Now, you might want to say that she'd been really wanting to go to the cinema for ages. So when I finally got to, when we, because it's both of them, when we finally got to the cinema. And that gives us the clue by saying when we finally got to the cinema, that they'd been going there for a long time, or that Hannah had been really excited about going to the cinema. So again, there are two levels that you can do this on. You can just say when, or you can give context clues, some little clues about how the characters are feeling. Adverb of time, the kind gorilla asked if I wanted to go home. Well, you could just say the simple when. At the end of the night, the kind gorilla asked if I wanted to get home. Maybe when I started getting sleepy. And we don't even have to say that she was getting sleepy. We can give a clue for a clue. When I started yawning. So there are lots of adverbs of time we can use. Remember, we have to say when the thing's happening, and if we can, we give a clue as to how the characters are feeling. Finally, adverb of time, the toy gorilla was still there, smiling at me. So when was the toy gorilla smiling? When she woke up. When I woke up. Add more detail. When I woke up the next day. Now, remember, Hannah was excited to see the gorilla there when she woke up. Or maybe she was a little worried the gorilla wouldn't be there. But we could actually add an adverb in here. When I woke up nervously. When I woke up nervously the next day, the toy gorilla was still there smiling at me. So again, in that one, we're giving a little bit more of a clue as to how the character is feeling. Now it's your turn. I would like you to finish these sentences off, and I'd like you to add an adverb of time. Refer back to your success criteria of adverbs of time up here. They tell us when something happened, and they help us understand a character's feelings by giving clues. They appear at the beginning of a sentence, in this case, and they are always followed by a comma. And we also have a whole load of adverbs of time, and I'm sure you added more and more of your own to help you out. Finish these sentences off, and make sure you email them into the school email address. And there's a reminder of that email address coming up right now. Okay, before we finish, we have time for a couple of quick reminders. Reminder number 1 is to make sure you get your spelling frame login. Email english@grange.harrow.sch.uk and either myself or Mr. Rashid will email you your login. Reminder number 2. The Poetry Festival is coming up, and I am still looking for more and more of your videos of you reading poems, whether they are written by you or one of the poems that I sent you links for. So make sure you get those videos in. I think a perfect day to have the festival would be maybe the end of next week. So you have until then to send in your poetry videos. Third reminder, remember we had that competition for instruction writing a little while ago? Well, this week, in fact, for Friday's video, I am going to be making Amy's winning jam recipe, so make sure you watch on Friday if you want to see me eat dandelion and chili jam. Have a great day, everyone, and stay safe.